As much as people don't like to admit it, you have to admit the fact that when you're doing hormone replacement therapy, there's always going to be some sort of negative effect. Now, I've talked about plenty of other negative effects, but I wanted to talk about specifically a negative experience that I had this morning with the injection that I did. Okay. So this has happened before. If you've ever had any sort of injection, which, everyone's been fully injected and boosted, for various things and whatever. And it's so when you're doing it yourself, it's a little bit different, obviously. But I had started injections, back in like 2012 or so, like when I first started the hormones and everything. And then I went off of them after like 6 months or so or whatever. And I had some, issues then, like it happened maybe like once or so. And then it happened with this when I went the injections again. So what happens is, you put the needle in, you start to push the plunger, and then you start to feel very lightheaded. You start to feel as though you're about to pass out. You're feeling like very weak. And then you start to sweat profusely. So that's basically many years ago. That is what has happened before. I had those that negative experience. And then when I started up with the injections again last year, the second time that I did the injection, I had that same experience. And both the times it was because I had not eaten anything for like a few hours prior. So, it's one of those things, like if you don't eat anything, it makes your whatever that's what's the sugar level called? Your sugar levels drop or whatever. That's not the term I'm looking for, but blood sugar. There you go. Sugar levels. Your blood sugar would drop, and then you get those side effects and those issues. Well, this morning, the same exact thing happened. I had eaten, just before. I actually had some food right in front of me. My protein shake, actually. Never had any issues before. Did it the same exact way as I always do. No sort of problem. And then this time was the most intense, and it was just an awful feeling. So what happened was, I did it as I normally do. I put the syringe in, start to push it. And about halfway through me pushing it down, about 2 inches from where the injection site was, a muscle spasmed. So I felt it, it's like, okay, that was kind of weird. And then after I take out the needle, I start to feel kind of funny, just start to feel kind of strange, like almost like, okay, it's something's not right. Normally it's not that slow. Normally it happens like the moment you put the needle in, you start to press it down, and then you start to feel that. Like one of the times I couldn't even put the full dose in because I already start feeling like lightheaded and everything. So I do that, and I'm taking deep breaths at this point because I know something's about to happen. Taking deep breaths, relaxing, just talking, positive thoughts and everything. Everything's fine. Everything, is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong. It's not like I'm bleeding profusely. I didn't hit a vein and inject it into a vein or anything. Everything was fine. But then it's just like, well, why did my muscle spasm like that? I don't know. So then I get up and I go into the bathroom to wash my hands afterwards, and it's just like, I'm just like, I can't really fully stand up. And then I come into the bedroom here, and I lay down, and I am sweating so profusely, like from head to toe. Every single inch of my body is just sweating profusely. It's just coming off. It's just like so much sweat is just dripping off of my body. My body is just so hot. And I just feel very, I guess, lightheaded. Like I just can't really, it's like, okay, just take it easy, just relax, take some deep breaths and everything, and just relax. I don't have an elevated heartbeat or anything. Everything else is fine. It's just the lightheadedness, the sweating, and just not feeling good. So that did eventually go away after some time, but it took basically a full hour for it to be like 100% back to normal. Like maybe after a half hour, I was maybe like 80% or so. But it was just a scary experience, and it's like, what was so different? Was it all psychological? Or was there some sort of physiological thing that happened? Because I don't know. Because my muscle never spasms like that. It was just like one. It was like, whoom, okay. We have absorbed the medication like really fast, I don't know. But, everything else, the fact that there was no blood, the fact that there's no mark afterwards or like bruising or even, there's nothing else on my body that indicates anything bad happened, anything weird happened. Now the muscle and the leg is a bit sore, and that could be because if the muscle spasmed as the needle was in there, although the needle was like 2 inches away. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I just find that so strange. So I don't really know what happened exactly, but it was a scary thing. And when those sorts of things happen, it's like, oh, I don't want to do it again. It's like, I don't want to do the injections again. I'm kind of done with it. But the fact is, it barely, like, if it happens once a year, it's like, okay, I guess I can deal with that. This is my year right here, because last year when I had started the injections, which I forget exactly when it was. I want to say it was probably around this time. Maybe. It only happened the second time, and that was because of food. So I no longer do that without eating something like right before. But I just find it odd that this time it happened when I had already eaten, when I had food right beside me. So I don't know. So just a very, very weird thing. So I'm just saying those things because it's like, whenever you're going about this process of transitioning and everything, or you need to, inject and fully boost your self and everything, these are all things that you need to be aware of, because at one point or another, it's going to happen. You're going to have this sort of thing happen. You don't know why. It may feel like you're going to die. Like, that's what I felt. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, hold on. I got to get all my stuff in order and everything. I'm about to die. It's like, oh, well, But then it's like, no, I'm not. It's like it was an overreaction, but it makes me wonder, like, what happened? It's like, I understand, as I said, I understand the other times it happened because I had not eaten anything and my blood sugar went down. But there's no reason why it would have happened this time. It doesn't make any sense. But I bet you if my muscle did not spasm, it would have been fine. So that would lead me to believe maybe it was a psychological thing. Like, I convinced myself. But then when I'm trying to convince myself out of it, it just, that didn't work. So I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, that was all. So you all take care, have a great one, and I'll catch you later. And if you have any experiences, be sure to share them with me, because it is a weird thing. Or if you have any idea as to why I would have experienced this when I had no issues with any other time, I don't know. Anyway, that's all. Take care. Bye-bye.